When I was younger, I had the opportunity to go to a camp called Camp Ridgecrest. There's a Camp Ridgecrest, which is for boys, Camp Crestridge, which is for girls. If you have sons or daughters, I encourage you to look it up. It is one of the major things that marked my life as a young man, and my parents sent me to this camp. And when you reach the oldest age at the camp, you have an opportunity to either stay in camp and do the activities and things like normal, or they'll take you to hike the Appalachian Trail. And I opted to hike the Appalachian Trail. And so as a part of this group, you go out with probably 30 guys and 4 different counselors. And I got to go with my younger brother, Simeon, who's my best friend, and my closest cousin, Jawa. His name is Josh, but when we were younger, we started calling him Jawa, you know, those like weird little things in Star Wars. And it stuck, so we call him Jawa. So the way that it works is they drop you off, and you have, let's say you have 60 miles that you have to hike to the point where they're gonna pick you up. And so you can decide to spread out evenly all the miles you're gonna hike and just do them each day, or you could hike as many miles as possible and get to the end and then just chill. And so we decided that we were gonna hike as many miles as possible to get to the end and just chill. And that meant that with our like 40-pound packs, we were gonna have to hike somewhere between 25 and 30 miles in one day. But we're a bunch of strapping young lads, and we were gonna do it, right? So we wake up at 7 a.m., and it's like dark, we're in the mountains, we get our gear, and we just start walking. And we start getting tired, you know? Hour 1, but we're tough, we're gonna keep it going, and we just keep hiking. And the food that we have to eat is like silly applesauce and like gross oatmeal and like all these like things that don't weigh a lot but are easy to bring when you're hiking. And so we're like snacking along the way, but none of it's very good. And we keep getting tired. And this is not like, oh, look, we're walking straight on a flat road. This is like the mountains, right? So we're like up the mountain, down the mountain, up the mountain. Why is there another mountain? Down the mountain, up the mountain, down the mountain. So we get about halfway through and we're exhausted, but we decide, okay, we're gonna stop and we're gonna eat lunch. And like, we're so tired. And we're all the group of us that are all together are in this little like semicircle. And there's this one tree where you have to step on the bottom tree, and there's another branch, and you have to step on it and then properly get over it. And we're all sitting there, and my brother's just like trudging along, and he takes his step and misses and falls, and his backpack falls over his back, and he's so tired that he just stayed there for like 10 minutes. It was great. So we're just all laughing at him. It's our comedic relief. We're all very tired, and then our counselors tell us that we're halfway, and that makes us sad. And so, but we're not quitters, so we decide we're gonna keep going. But we're really hungry, and we've been hiking all day, and so we're trying to figure out how to pass the time, and we decide that the best thing to do is to talk about all the food that we're gonna eat when we're done. And so we're talking about chocolate milkshakes and going to Cece's Pizza and getting unlimited pizza, anything that we want. And we just start hitting the laundry list of every food item you can think. And we're just like, what about this? And what about this? And that's how we make it through the last portion of the hike. And we get into camp at like, I think it was 8, and the sun's like going down. So we hiked for like 13 hours to wherever we were getting. And we all pass out. And a couple days later, we get picked up and they take us to go eat barbecue. And that was like one of the best meals that I've ever had in my entire life. It was so good. And we had built up all of these ideas about what the food would be and how satisfying it would be. And we finally got to eat really good food, and it was super satisfying. It definitely fulfilled the need that we had in that moment from the things that we had been talking about. But you know what happened the next week? They took us out to a different trail and they dropped us off, and we had to do it again. So you know what happened? We got hungry again. So although we did have a moment of satisfaction from the food that we had talked so much about, the next week we had to do it again and we got hungry again. And you see, all these people are following around Jesus because he's making bread and he's fulfilling a temporary need. But he's telling them that he has so much more to offer than just mere bread and just mere water.